life and food is very important. Whoever realize the connection between life and food,
命と食事の関係はとても大切です。
in the last class also we mentioned that Arogyam Bhojanadhinam, health is depending upon the food. So if you want to kill somebody, for example, somebody has some kind of liver related problem. For such a person, if you give every day some kind of food which will overload the liver, especially the tapioca fried in oil, if you continuously give around 100 gram for 1 month, he will be in big trouble with liver cirrhosis, and he has to transplant the liver in order to recover the problem, and most of the liver transplantation end up in the coffin box. So if you do not understand the relation between food and your constitution, the present problems, the food itself can become poison to you. So here is the importance of understanding the 6 tastes and its effects.
前回も言いましたが、アロギャンボージャナンリーナン、食は健康は食によりますと。でこの例えばタピオカをディープフライしたものを1ヶ月食べ続けると、その人は肝臓を移植しなくてはいけないほどに肝臓がダメになるでしょう。だから食べ物でまず肝臓がダメになることもあるので、それを気をつけないと自分がお肝に入っているしまうことになり、本来薬のはずも毒になってしまいます。
People who have constipation, such people, eating small banana is good. Same time, big banana, plankton, is very heavy to digest. If you eat big banana as it is not going to help in constipation. And normally anybody suffer from constipation, if they eat small banana, it will help to come out of constipation. But at the same time, somebody whose body is rich with sour taste, such people will be always little fatty, and such people get constipation. If they eat a small banana, with that itself their constipation is not going to recover. In such cases, we will have to understand little more healing secret related with 6 tastes, then only it helps. But at the same time, if somebody has some burning sensation inside the stomach, hyperacidity in the stomach, if they take a dish which we made known as olen, which is a good combination of alkaline property vegetable like ashgourd, and again with the coconut milk, with the least amount of spice, a small green chili, such dish, people who are suffering from hyperacidity, it will act faster than a medicine.
便秘の人はちっちゃいバナナを食べると良いです。大きいプランタンというバナナの大きい種類のやつ食べると便秘が助からないです。で、酸っぱいものを食べるのが好きで太っている人は便秘になりやすいです。あと 胃酸がたくさん出過ぎる人は冬瓜のオーランを食べるとそれは薬よりも早く効くということができます。オーランは、冬瓜をココナッツミルクで煮てグリーンチリをちょっと入れたやつですね。これがアルカリ性が強いので胃酸の薬を飲むよりも早く効きます。
When you look your vital organs like intestine, liver, lung, heart, small intestine, we can find that it is in a way it is connected with a different taste.
それぞれの内臓がそれぞれの味とつながっています。
According to the science of Ayurveda, the first digestion is happening inside the mouth. That is why Ayurveda say that means you have to masticate or chew the food in a good way. But people who eat fast, they hardly chew the food. They somehow their aim is to finish the food, so they eat very fast without chewing, thinking that there is a mixie or a grinder inside your stomach or some artificial grinding mechanism is there inside their stomach. They will overload their system. So people who do not understand the function of mixing the saliva with the food and the grinding which is supposed to happen in the mouth, if they don't do, they will be having some problem in the digestion. That in another way will overload the liver, because according to the science of Ayurveda, there is the food you eat is converted into 7 items, which we call 7 dhadus according to the science of Ayurveda. First, the food which you grinded mix with the saliva, which is known as rasa or chyle in English.
口というのは最初の消化のシステムです。なのでよく噛むことがとっても大切ですが、今の人は早く食べる上に全く噛んだりしません。胃の中にミキサーがあるというふうに考えると、噛まないで食べてしまうとそのミキサーを使いすぎるでなんかオーバーロードさせてしまうっていうことになってしまいます。
There is a
sorry. 食べるときに唾液と一緒によく混ぜて食べることが非常に大切です。で食べたものは、7つのダートに栄養がなっていきます。
There is a digestive agent called thialin. Will secret if you chew the food. If the teeth is crushing something, with the pressing only the thialin will secret. If you swallow the food, thialin will not come. And according to the science of Ayurveda, there is 3 kinds of digestion is there. Till the food comes to the small intestine, from mouth to small intestine, the digestion is happening, which we call Madhura Avastha Paga in Sanskrit, or the sweet digestion. So in another way, from mouth to the beginning of small intestine area, this area belong to the sweet taste. So we will say different organs of our body has different taste. So we can say from mouth to the beginning of small intestine, the food path is sweet taste majority the sweet taste, so we will call this area belong to the sweet taste.
でその内臓にそれぞれに味があると言いましたが、口から小腸の入り口ぐらいまでかけては甘いです。それをマドゥラアワスカパーカ
Sweet digestion.
甘い
Correct. What you said was correct. Mathura Avastha.
甘い消化と言います。
So Madhura Avasthapaga, when basically the carbohydrate digestion, you need this thiolin, and if you do not chew, the digestion of the carbohydrate won't take place in the next stage. So whenever we eat, it is a must that we have to cut the food and grind the food. Has to mix it with saliva, then only it should go down. If it go down without that, it will create some kind of instead of digestion, it will create some kind of fermentation, gas formation, bloating of the stomach, sometimes stomach pain, different things will happen. So it is a must that in the Madhurya Avasthapaga or sweet digestion area, you should eat comparatively slowly after grinding well the food which you eat.
口の中には唾液の中にはタイアリアンという消化酵素があって、この消化酵素が炭水化物を消化するのに必要なんですけれども、噛まないとタイアリアンが出ないので炭水化物を消化することができないで、お腹の中に入っていってしまいます。だから、口の中でちゃんとこうグラインディングしていかないと消化じゃなくて発酵が始まってしまうので、そうするとガスの問題になったりしてしまいます。
That is why children whose teeth is not yet come up, we will say you should not give hard food to the children because they have no teeth, and if the teeth is not there, the grinding won't happen, and if grinding doesn't happen, thiolin will not secrete. As a result, children will have many kinds of stomach related problems. So we will say for the children you should give a food which is chewed well on outside, or we have to say a kind of semi pre-digested food. So normally for children we call the food which we give the children whose teeth is not yet come up, that food is in Sanskrit known as prasha. It is a kind of paste form, because you are doing some kind of cooking outside, and that semi-cooked food you make into in the paste form, then you are adding, and when that food comes to the child's mouth, naturally child who doesn't have teeth won't be able to grind it well. He will swallow, and the swallowed food won't make any difficulty to the stomach, because we have done a certain amount of cooking outside. We will say how it is to be done. We will explain after the translation.
ちっちゃい子供、まだ歯が生えていない子っていうのは、このグラインディングして唾液を出して消化酵素を出すことができないので、硬いものをあげてしまうとお腹が痛くなってしまったりします。なので歯が生えていない子供にはペースト状のもの、柔らかく調理した半分調理したようなもの、潰したようなものをあげると飲み込むだけでいいので、赤ちゃんにもいいのはそういうためです。でこのペーストのことをサンスクリット語でプラーシャと言います。
We call Shishu Prasha, child food.
シシュプラーシャはベイビーフードのこと。
So if you look the text of Ayurveda, we have different varieties of Shishu Prasha, and if you start to give wrong food from the very childhood, the child's stomach, especially the good fruit giving bacteria like probiotics, different kind, because in our body vast number of bacteria, viruses living from the mouth to the anus, in the food path till the anus. Big amount of bacteria and viruses are living. They are waiting for a chance to do some bad things, and if you give a chance to the bad bacteria through a bad food, the bad bacteria will get some acceleration and they will start to give bad things. For an example, your digestion is poor, so as a result of poor digestion, your digestive mechanism is weak. At that time, if you give something too much sweet, too much thick, this will help to make more kapha, and as a result the child will have stomach problem as well as coughing. So what we do for a children, we have in the last class also we mentioned the child life is first part of the life is belong to the kapha, second part is belong to the pitta when you are a youth, and the third part belong to vata when you become old. So when you give a food to a kapha predominant period, that means childhood, you should not give too much sweet. So you should always counteract the sweet by adding certain things in his food, like turmeric powder or cardamom or garlic, like that. For children, if you give milk, normally you are supposed to add some turmeric and little garlic, and if you cook the milk with turmeric and some garlic, the too much sweetness related, because in another way we have to always understand sweetness is nothing but kapha. Whenever sweetness coming, kapha is coming. So when you give a sweet food to the child who is predominant with the kapha, again you are giving something to boost the kapha. The kapha guys are looking for something to get acceleration. They will get an acceleration. As a result, the child will have some coughing. At that time, if you intelligently add some antidote, this is the art of sixth taste. If you know what is the antidote of a food, if you add that antidote, it will be well edible without any difficulties like health problems.
人間の体は口から肛門までが消化器官ですが、そこでその長い経路でバクテリアが待ってるわけです。なので悪い食事が入ってくると、その口から肛門までのどこかのバクテリアが活性化してしまって、健康に良くないです。で、甘くて重いものっていうのはカパが増えます。カパが増えすぎるとお腹が痛くなります。そうすると咳も一緒にやってきます。で、子供の時はカパで、大人はピッタで、老人はバータですけれども、このカパの子供時代の時に甘いものをあげてしまいすぎると、そういうふうにお腹痛くなって咳も出てくるっていうことになるので、甘いものをあげるならば、カウンターアクトになる、ターメリック、カルダモンのようなものもあげなくてはいけません。で、ミルクもいいんですけれども、ミルクも甘く重いので、インドではガーリックを入れてミルクとガーリックを子供にあげるっていうのをやります。そういうふうに解毒剤っていうんですけど、アンティドットって言ってましたが、そういうのを何をあげたらいいのか、甘いものだけじゃなくてそれと合わせて何をあげるべきなのかっていう知識を持ち合わせる必要があります。
Like you are heating some iron piece, and if you touch the hot iron plate, you will have some burning. So if you want to convert that into cold, you just pour the opposite. Like if you know the opposite and pump to that in the correct proportion, you can block many of the bad effect of the food and By counterbalancing that, you can eat something which is coming in the season, and you can still keep a healthy stomach by understanding the opposite, the counterbalancing food.